My name's Davy. I'm from Dundonald in East Belfast. Protestant, Orange Order member, and proud of where I come from.
My name's Patrick Smith. I'm a West Belfast Catholic. My life has been, especially my early life, dominated by the fact that I've been a Catholic and an Irish Republican or an Irish nationalist.
Okay, our politics are different, and those things are never going to change. Those things are literally bred into you. By the time I was 5, I was going to funerals. I was taken out of school. My first memory is being taken out of school to go to Robert Bradford's funeral, murdered by the IRA. He was buried in my village, and we were taken out of school to go to his funeral. That's what we grew up in, you know?
Belfast is a divided city. It has been a divided city for generations, and I think that no matter who you are, there will be an aspect where you have to decide. Shared spaces in the centre of Belfast were fortified. They weren't really that shared. You wouldn't really encounter people from the opposite side, let's put it that way. Protestants. I wouldn't encounter many unless you actively went to do so.
I would struggle to think of someone else that I would call a friend. Paddy would still be one of my very few Catholic friends. I've never really thought about that until there now. Because you're born into that, for us to find each other, it was the Belfast Giants is where we found each other.
Welcome to the SSE Arena here in Belfast for this game between the Belfast Giants and the Manchester Storm. Davy, unfortunately, is unavailable to join us this week, but you can catch us on A View from the Bridge on Wednesday morning, and we'll be talking about exactly what we see in tonight's game.
David McGimsey is a good friend of mine, a man who comes from the opposite side of town and the opposite side of the political spectrum, but we are really great friends through our love of the Belfast Giants, and we get together online every Tuesday to record a podcast and generally just talk about something that we're both passionate about.
Probably wouldn't have known Paddy if it wasn't for the Belfast Giants, but I talk to Paddy more than I probably talk to any other human. You know, we're on the WhatsApp group to each other every day, talking hockey and just talking football and all sorts of stuff.
If you're a Catholic like me, you watch Gaelic football. You might play a bit of basketball, but we didn't play anything deemed to be Protestant sports. Ice hockey isn't either, because it was this new sport, this American sport. It was just a spectacle in a brand new arena, a brand new shiny arena in the middle of Belfast.
Sport has the ability to unify people like I don't think anything else can, and I guess the Belfast Giants came along at a time when Belfast needed it, and suddenly it gave people from all over Belfast somewhere they could go. Doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, what your nationality is, what your orientation is. The strap line for the Belfast Giants that still goes on to this day: in the land of the Giants, everyone is equal.
Every time I go back to Belfast, I see a changed city. Belfast is a city that's scarred. Belfast is a city that has a lot of wounds that people are doing their very best to heal. And that's totally understandable, because there was conflict. There's no getting away from the fact that there was a land war, and people, and I understand it can sometimes be boiled down to Protestant v Catholic, but it's a lot more than that. Belfast is a city that for decades have people who want it their way. We're British, and this is part of Britain. We're Irish, and this is part of Ireland. You're always going to have people who want to go back to the way it was. People who still want to identify with the extremes. The silent majority don't want that. And that's where Belfast has progressed.
You come to the door. I come to the door as an Orange man, as an East Belfast loyalist, and I leave that at the door. I'm there to support Belfast. Paddy comes from the other side of the city, does exactly the same. As I said in the podcast a few weeks ago, you can choose when you're leaving to pick that bag up again and take it with you, or you can leave it behind.